Hello and welcome back to another video. Today we are going to talk about what are the Akashic Records. Okay, that was stupid. Never mind. Alright guys, let's dive into it. I want to make this a really short, sweet video. What are the Akashic Records? I feel like that terms like that really have popped up a lot in our cosmos lately, which is beautiful and exciting because it means that consciousness is rising and we are waking up to all of those beautiful infinite possibilities and whatnot. All right, so what the Akashic Records are, the easiest way to describe them is like a metaphysical library. So imagine a library, and imagine a library being like energetic in the cosmos. That are the Akashic Records. What do the Akashic Records do? What do they store? What is this library for? The Akashic Records are a library where each and every decision, each and every path, even each and every potential of a soul's path, your path, has been stored. So each and every moment of your entire life and lifetimes that came before and also lifetimes that will come after are being stored in there. Of course, lifetimes in the future, we talk more about timelines and potentials and all of that. But there can also be stored multi-dimensional aspects of yourself. So for instance, I personally, one of my guides is Pleiadian, but she's me in the Pleiades right now. So it's an interdimensional aspect. My soul is reflected in her too because she's living there right now. And it's not limited to that. It's just something that I am aware of right now. And I'm sure there will be more coming. Anyways, this is not what we're talking about here. The Akashic Records, they store, again, each and every decision that you've ever made, even each and every step, and also potentials. This is why it's really powerful to dive into them when you are at a moment in your life where you feel like, I've done all this inner work. Nothing is really working out. What can I do to finally feel aligned, to finally feel like I am alive, I'm living my purpose, I am living my best? Because the Akashic Records can totally show you that, can show you whether there's maybe something from a past life that is blocking you right now in this lifetime. And they can also show you what you can do in order to get back on track and onto your timeline. And what is so magical about them is they will present to you what your highest intended path is in this lifetime as well. So they will show you an outline of what you've signed up for in this lifetime. And then it is for you to leap and to become uncomfortable and to step into that timeline to embody that. And yeah, so they really help you to stay accountable to your mission, to what your soul came in here for, because of course we all go through that big amnesia before we come here and we forget what we even sign up for. So really the Akashic Records store all the information. It also goes beyond decisions and such. It goes up to actions, emotions, interactions with other people. It is really, really fascinating. One thing to know is that you have the birthright to access the Akashic Records. So an Akashic Record reader will open them for you if you don't feel like you can have access to them yourself just yet. But just know that you totally can. Theoretically, each and every person in this universe has a right to look into your own Akashic Records and to look into what is on their timelines, what are timeline potentials, what is of the highest good, what is of the highest good of like, how can I be of service, and all of those things. Now, the Pleiadians are the keepers of the Akashic Records. They have made it their job, so to say, to take care of them, just like librarians, which is really cute and also beautiful. So that means that oftentimes, because when you think of a library, like a library doesn't work by itself, right? There's still librarians that bring order into everything and that give out the books and put the books back and so on and so forth. And so the Pleiadians do just the same thing. And the books themselves, the Akashic Records, are more like stagnant energy. So it kind of needs some living essence in order for them to be readable, if you want. So most people that read the Akashic Records are actually channeling the Pleiadians. So right now you may be wondering what happens during an Akashic Record reading. Now, the reader will open the records for you and will then start channeling, as in channeling through claircognizance, or can also trans-channel. Trans meaning that a different being comes in and reads the records out for the person, the client, whatever. So that is usually a Pleiadian, right? Because they're the keepers of the records. But they can also channel it through claircognizance or clairvoyance. So see information, hear information, know information, and it's all coming through different psychic clairs. The Akashic Records will give you insights on different choices you made in your life, maybe things that you needed to go through in order to grow. So maybe you made a choice to incarnate into a certain family, and the records will give you an idea of why you needed to learn those lessons. Or maybe there has been a relationship in the past that you never really understood, or it's hard for you to let go of. And then what the Akashic Records can do is for you to find clarity on why you needed to go through it the way you needed to go through it, or whether there was a certain connection, like a twin flame soulmate contract, like anything like that, right? They can also give you insights on your soul origin, meaning where your soul is from, whether it's native to Earth or to another planetary system. They can also give you insights on innate connections to other worlds, if you want, to the Pleiades, to Arcturus, to Andromeda, whatever, which is exciting. They can also give you information on your purpose or previous incarnations, of your reason of this time of incarnation and other lifetimes. They can also give you an idea, like I said earlier, on what your highest timeline is, what your highest intended timeline is, or even your potential and what you can really reach throughout this life on Earth. Also, the Akashic Records can tell you about different decisions that you've made throughout your life and where it has led you, or why you need to experience it, or maybe you are in just before a certain decision and you don't really know where to go. The Akashic Records can help you to see different outcomes, different timelines, different potentials. So for instance, I want to give an example, but for me, I have received before the timeline potential of having children, or of having not moved to Canada and instead stayed in Germany, because that's where I'm originally from. And I only moved to Canada when I was 23. And lastly, they can also give you tangible steps on how to get back into alignment, which is so helpful because, of course, we can do all this spiritual work and sit and meditate, and sometimes that is a tool, but it's really helpful to have something that you can grasp in the physical, which is really beautiful. And for me personally, I once had an Akashic Record reading and it really changed the direction of my life, I want to say. I found myself in a place where I wasn't really where I wanted to be with the business that I had at the time, and I felt like if this was meant to be, if this was supposed to be my purpose, like this all would just flow so much more easily. So I just knew something was out of alignment, and I really wanted to see what was out of alignment, and because I didn't have an idea of what I was supposed to do instead. And throughout the Akashic Record reading, it became really clear that I was actually psychic, and that I was clairvoyant, that I was a channel, and all those things, and I've never had acknowledged that. And once I started working on it over the span of a couple of weeks, all those gifts were being upgraded, and like I then rewrote my business, so to say, and started from anew, and things just flowed so much more easily, so much more effortlessly, because I was in alignment with my soul's purpose, with my soul's gifts, and what I came here to do. So it's really, really beautiful, and I hope you enjoyed this video and it gave you a bit of an idea of what the Akashic Records are, and I would love to see you in the next video. And if you ever are interested in a psychic Akashic reading where I combine my own intuition So my psychic senses with an Akashic record reading. So opening the records for you and looking what's in there, the Akashic records, combining those two, I call it a psychic Akashic reading. If ever you're interested in experiencing that, and also maybe are at a time in your life where you feel like, I kind of want to know where, you know, maybe what is out of alignment, or where you're supposed to go, or what happens if this, what happens if that, or what is the message that I need to hear in order to make a better decision for myself. And finding really that clarity on, and just guidance and direction on how to navigate this life. And it's also really fun to just experiment with what your innate connections are to other beings, or to maybe have a tendency to mediumship and things like that. So it's really beautiful to discover those soul gifts. And sometimes it's art. So people are supposed to empower others through their art because it's really activating. I actually just had that in a reading. So really, really powerful work, and I would love to hold space for you. And I think that is that. So I'm sending you all my love. Really, I'm so grateful that you're here. If ever you want to connect, as in text and write and voice message, then please do so. Just reach out to me on Instagram at I am Selena May, and we can chat there. Okay, that's it. Sending lots of love. Bye.